This your boy Vinny Blanco, reporting to you live. Me and my little guy. What up, Ralphie? What up, Ralphie? Hey. Here to talk to you about finding Chris, my father. Not to sell it, but rather to push divine purpose and you finding yours. This book, Finding Chris, my father, was a miracle. This book, Finding Chris, my father, saved my life. This is my story. This is my life. And I had no idea it would get written. I had no idea I would live out the stuff that's in this book, Finding Chris, my father. Get him out of my hair for a minute. I had no idea Finding Chris, my father, would happen. And then I had family members, friends, people telling me, you don't know how to write no book. What you gonna write a book for? People telling me, you can't write that book because you're revealing too many secrets. But I saw something bigger in Finding Chris, my father. I saw something major happening. I saw breakthroughs. I didn't know how it was gonna happen, but I knew once I put this book out, it was gonna happen. I ain't know how to write a book. I wrote Finding Chris, my father, mainly off recollection. The brain. Just recalling events, times, dates. I probably even got something wrong. I never know. I just saw something bigger than secrets being revealed. I saw something bigger than people being mad at me for the moment. I saw families getting healed with this book right here. And it happened. Now, I didn't know how it was going to happen. I had no clue. The book was mainly going to be for therapeutic purposes for me, because I still needed healing. But when the book came out, numbers was moving. You know, it was doing well. I started doing speaking engagements. And guess what? I ain't no speaker. I was nervous. Hands shaking the first couple times. But after a while, I got better. I found my gifts, my talents. I showed my wit, you know, my charisma, able to structure my speaking, you know, better and elevate my tones, all that good stuff that a great orator would do. But I got better, and I lost the fear because I went there with new intent, not to show off, not to sell my book. As I became seasoned and experienced, I went in there with the thought that somebody gonna get blessed today, somebody gonna get healed. And lo and behold, man, y'all, God's so good, because at the end of my speaking engagements, back to back to back, I had people standing up testifying. I had criminals, thugs, I had every type of individual, men, women, standing up crying, standing up testifying, sharing their story about finding their pops, sharing their story about not having their pops, and that's the reason they went to jail. That's the reason they went into gangbanging. That's the reason they had some promiscuity going on. And they said they never even shared their story, never thought about it, but once they heard me share mine, it put something on their heart. That's why Finding Chris, my father, was put in my spirit. Not only that, it brought my family together. Not only that, it let people know it's okay to be transparent. Because there's something bigger in there in being transparent. You got to have no fear, though, because people going to ridicule you. But all them lives, I'm looking back now, it's 2016 now, 3 years later. It's been thousands upon thousands of lives that I've touched. I turned my book into a traveling stage play with the help of some great individuals. What up, Ellen? What up, Lamont? What up, Marlon? Traveling stage play, and I turned them down because I couldn't see it. So not only will God place something in your spirit like a book, but God gonna use people as vessels. And they turned my book into a play. And then I started working out MOUs, memorandums of understanding, contracts. I don't know nothing about no contracts, but I used that skill that I learned from working at the Virginia Mentoring Partnership. So now I'm writing contracts, signing letters of agreement. Now we're doing stage plays, and we ain't even had no money to do it. but we haven't sold out shows. When we ain't have no money for marketing, my book being a bestseller, I'm having no fear with speaking, and my crowds are getting larger. Channel 6, 8, and 12 called me, doing a great story on me, my mom, my dad, and the play, and how the people getting blessed. Then people on my job start telling me that my story inspired them to go tell their child about their estranged father. My story inspired them to go search for their father, or go stand up and be a better father. That is divine purpose. That's what me writing a book like Finding Chris, My Father is all about. Blessing other people. And that's when my story started to change. I stopped trying to sell my book. Buy this, buy that. I stopped doing that. I went in there with an intent to bless. And I let God do the talking and walking through me as a vessel. And Finding Chris, My Father took a long time. It should have been written in 2008, technically, because 2007 was when I got my breakthrough with that situation. But 2013 is when God saw fit. And here we are 3 years later. The book's still popping. People still remember my book and asking me about Finding Chris, My Father. And now I'm on the verge of completing my new book, Finding Purpose in the Valleys, which is going to follow Finding Chris, My Father. And I'm going to really share the importance of you taking that full walk through that valley, even though you're going to hate it, because that's where you grow, in that valley. That's where you gain wisdom and you gain experience, and you really get elevated in the valley. It's ironic because you get elevated in your lowest point. Ain't that crazy? But in your lowest point, you get elevated. So I'm learning how to find purpose in the valleys. And I've been through a lot of valleys, y'all. Y'all thought it was some valleys in Finding Chris, My Father. But you're going to see some real valleys that I went through after Finding Chris, My Father came out. I'm being all the way real with y'all. But that's because I know it's going to bless somebody. I know some small-minded people are going to talk about me. And that's fine. But finding purpose in the valleys, y'all be on the lookout for that, because that's going to bless some people. I ain't even going to try to predict if it's going to become a play, a movie, what. Because I didn't even do that last time. But now, God has shown me how far things can go. A movie wouldn't shock me. A play wouldn't shock me. A bestseller certificate wouldn't shock me. I love to see God do what he do. And God has really been blessing people through me. Thousands upon thousands of people emailing me, texting me, saying how amazing my story is, how certain things resonated with them. That's what it's about, that blessing. So I want to thank everybody that has ever supported my book, Finding Chris, My Father. Finding Chris, My Father. Thank y'all for supporting it. Those that don't have the book and don't know about the story, Google Finding Chris, My Father by Vincent Ellis White. And please be patient, because I've been hard on myself by not releasing Finding Purpose in the Valleys earlier this year, 2016, like I wanted to. But trust me, I'm on God's time. It's coming. And certain things even been happening this week that let me know it's time to complete that joint and drop it. Then I got a children's book that I'm going to be working on that's going to blow some minds. So your boy working out here in these streets. Follow me social media, Vincent Ellis White. And I just want to tell y'all I love y'all and I appreciate y'all, man. Find your divine purpose and walk in it no matter what the obstacles. Just keep walking in your divine purpose. It's your boy Vincent Ellis White. I love you. All right, peace.